Hello and welcome to today's webinar. Everything you need to know about OTA marketing channels and the Billboard effect. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to join us and learn more about how you can use them to improve your business. First, here's a little about me. My name is Gavin Wadsworth. I'm a hospitality researcher and content writer for ResNexus, and I'm very excited to present this webinar to you today. We'll have time at the end for a Q&A, so keep your questions ready for then. All right, first things first, what exactly is a marketing channel? What do we mean when we say marketing channel? Well, here are some examples. These are all marketing channels you can connect with directly in ResNexus. These are channels which have connections built specifically for ResNexus, which helps get more eyes on your property. Most of these are also OTAs, or online travel agencies, which is a term that you're probably more familiar with. So why do we use OTAs and marketing channels? Well, the objective of all marketing is to promote and sell a product. In your case, it's room or unit nights. So what's significant about marketing channels? Well, I'm first going to answer that question with a question. What's your marketing budget? How much money do you spend per year on advertising, digital content marketing, market research, and public relations? How much business do you attract because of these efforts? As you might imagine, there's a lot of money, time, effort, and strategy that goes into marketing your property effectively. Plus, it's difficult to know what kind of results to expect from your efforts. Don't get me wrong, marketing can be incredibly rewarding, but hindsight is always 20/20, and you can't know for certain what's going to work before you try it. Basically, marketing channels pay it for you. This is why properties use marketing channels. They do the marketing for you, and they only take a commission when it pays off for your business. How much money does Expedia spend on marketing? Well, according to this data from Statista, last year it was $6.1 billion. Obviously, their marketing efforts aren't geared toward your property specifically, but rather toward their own platform. But that's how you get discovered. 112 million unique users use Expedia every month. That's why marketing channels are so helpful for both guests and properties. For guests, it's a centralized place to search for accommodation and travel options. For the property, it's a great way to tap into a massive audience you wouldn't otherwise have access to. Marketing channels come in several different categories, but like most categories, not everything fits neatly into just one. But generally, these are the kind of marketing channels that most independent hoteliers deal with. First is the OTA, the online travel agency. This is probably the one you're most familiar with. Airbnb is an example of an OTA. OTAs provide guests with a platform to search for and book accommodations. Travelers appreciate the ability to make their own travel plans and take their time perusing various options. Properties want to list here because of their large audiences, though bookings that come through usually have a commission taken from the total. A traditional travel agency works much like an OTA, except that they meet in person with their clients to plan out their trip. This is typically used by more affluent travelers, and the travel agents they meet with tend to provide more personalized recommendations and itineraries. Travelers typically use a brick-and-mortar travel agency like this when they want an expert to help them design their perfect getaway. Metasearch sites like Tripadvisor and Google aren't exactly booking channels. Instead, they provide prices and links to other booking channels, usually OTAs like Booking.com or Expedia, or to your own website or booking engine. That's also your best indicator of whether a marketing channel is an OTA or a metasearch site. If you can complete the booking on the channel itself, it's probably an OTA. If not, it's probably a metasearch site. This is where guests go to discover places to stay and see what their online reviews are like. And that said, Tripadvisor does actually have several options for bringing you bookings directly, as we'll go over later in the webinar. Loyalty rewards programs like Stash Hotel Rewards allow independent properties to reap benefits normally only available to larger hotel chains. It also works as a marketing channel because member properties are listed on their registry of places where travelers can earn and spend their reward points. Expedia Group also provides a rewards program that spans their many platforms. As I mentioned, one major benefit to marketing channels is that you only pay when it works, when you actually see results in the form of bookings from that channel. Commission rates depend on the channel or OTA as well as other factors. Obviously, direct bookings are better because you don't pay that commission. But how much more business can you expect that you wouldn't otherwise have had? Remember that this is the cost you would have otherwise shouldered on your own to get those bookings in the first place with your own marketing efforts. ResNexus gives you control over your marketing channel listings, so you can be smart about how you use them. For example, let's say your property always fills up on Labor Day weekend. You don't want to lose money from commission fees if you don't have to, so you can simply make that weekend a blackout date for OTAs in ResNexus. That way, you're maximizing your revenue by only accepting direct bookings for that busy weekend. ResNexus also allows you to implement minimum night rules for specific OTAs or to override your existing minimum night rules. So if you want to make your OTA bookings work harder for you, then you can set it up so you don't get just one night bookings through them, only 2 or more nights. And again, you can set these rules to take place only during certain date ranges that you specify. Keeping in line with this theme of using marketing channels wisely, I'd now like to talk about the billboard effect. So what is the billboard effect? The billboard effect refers to the phenomenon where online travel agencies or OTAs indirectly benefit properties by increasing their visibility and generating more direct bookings through their own websites or direct channels. It suggests that when a property is listed on an OTA platform and gains exposure to a broader audience, it can experience an increase in direct bookings on its own website. In other words, people find out about your property on marketing channels and then book with you directly for future stays. Now, this billboard effect occurs due to several reasons. The first is increased exposure. OTAs attract a large number of travelers who might not have been aware of a particular property. By listing on an OTA, you gain exposure to a wider audience, increasing your visibility. Next is credibility and trust. Travelers often use OTAs as a trusted source to research and compare accommodations. When they see a property listed on a reputable OTA platform, it enhances that credibility and increases the likelihood of travelers considering it for direct bookings. And finally, there's research and comparison. OTAs provide travelers with comprehensive information, reviews, and price comparisons for multiple properties. If the property meets their criteria and preferences, they may visit the website to book directly. So that's the basic principle of the billboard effect. But there are ways you can help it along to drive more of those direct bookings. The main way you can do this is by remarketing your property to your past guests, whether they came from an OTA or otherwise. Because the OTAs don't necessarily want your guests to come stay with your property again, they just want them to stay at a property again in the future. To them, it doesn't matter which one. So how do you combat this? And here's the answer. You collect guest information so you can remarket to them in the future. Many OTAs actually don't send you the guest information for bookings you get through them. Communications are sent through a proxy email, so you don't actually get the guest's real email address and phone number. One of the reasons the OTAs started doing this is to prevent properties from having their future guests cancel and rebook direct, thus avoiding paying the commission. So, with that in mind, the standard practice is, of course, to ask for the guest's phone number and email on arrival when they check in. That way, you can enter their information into your system for marketing going forward. OTAs and marketing channels are fantastic at bringing in new guests for the first time. When it comes to expanding your marketing reach and audience, you can't do much better than this. But I can't stress this enough. They are not good at bringing them back again. OTAs are all about new and exciting, about sending people all over the world to stay with a different property every time. So that's where ResNexus comes in. Let's talk about how ResNexus helps you with this marketing, specifically to improve your return guest rate. I'm now going to demonstrate the ResNexus back office marketing settings. So this is a sample properties calendar view in the ResNexus back office. You can see all the upcoming bookings. Some are from Expedia, some are from direct booking, some are over the phone. Here's an upcoming Expedia booking. Let's say this guest's name is Evan. Now, Expedia doesn't usually send over the guest's email address and phone number to you. Instead, they send over a proxy email in place of the real email address. So up here would be normally where you have the real email address, but this one goes to a domain called expediapartnercentral.com. Probably not this guest's real email. You can load that email into your marketing efforts if you want, but the guest probably won't see any of it. Expedia might forward some of your important updates to them for a limited time, but you won't be able to send them promotional emails after their stay. So, when Evan arrives to check in, you ask him for that information so he can receive special offers and promotions. And while you're at it, maybe you ask for his date of birth. Then, you simply add Evan's guest information into the system, and you can send him promotional emails, which he can of course opt out of at any time, which is probably why you don't want to send them too frequently. You want to be strategic about what emails you send out to whom and when. Then, you do what you do best and make sure that Evan has a very pleasant stay at your property, so he'll be excited to come stay with you again in the future. So let's take a look at an example of what sort of marketing efforts you might make to remind Evan of how great your property is. One unique thing about ResNexus is that we provide an email template builder where you can customize the image, text, buttons, links, and more. We even have a bunch of pre-made templates that allow you to quickly customize them to your own property, and we can help you set them up as well. This is that email builder with a promotional email loaded up for birthdays. Let's see what it says. Hey, first name, so it would say Evan in this case because of the tag. Looks like you got a birthday coming up. Can we suggest a glamping themed celebration back at Pinewood? If you're interested, here's an early gift to make celebrating a little easier. Then they have a promo code and some more information. So now that you've entered Evan as a guest in your back office along with his birth date, he'll receive this promo email 30 days before his birthday, or any other number of days before, it's up to you. Will Evan follow through and book a trip to your property because of this email? Maybe, maybe not. But sending out 1 or 2 emails like this a year to all of your past guests is bound to pay off for at least some of them. And that's a great way to build loyalty. And this is just one type of promotional email you can set up. You can have other kinds of special offers for things like local events and unique experiences and specials and packages, and the list goes on. Here you can see your email summary with all the messages you sent out this year. That's some pretty good outreach. It's efforts like these that can really help improve your return guest rate. All right, now I'm going to go over a bunch of OTAs and marketing channels. I'm going to explain what their target market is, what properties they list, and how they handle guest data and payments. Keep in mind that on that last point about guest data and payments, that a lot of the specifics may depend and vary based on your account and unique arrangement with the OTA. What I'll be going over in this regard may not be 100% accurate for every property, but generally this is the case. First on the list is Expedia, an OTA giant if there ever was one. In 2021, over 200,000 reservations came through Expedia to ResNexus subscribers, making it the OTA with the most reservations for the year. Expedia's target market is very broad, but we often associate it with longer distance traveling. Until recently, their logo was an airplane. One of the main reasons is that you can bundle flights and car rentals into your booking on Expedia. So you see a lot of frequent travelers on here, and travelers who want to go to a variety of places. That said, the majority of Expedia travelers are US-based. Now, Expedia lists bed and breakfasts, vacation rentals, hotels, and motels on their platform, but they probably don't want your RV and campsite inventory. But if you're a campground and you have some fully furnished cabins in your property, those might be something good to send over. One other thing worth mentioning about Expedia Group, the company over Expedia, Vrbo, Hotels.com, and others, is that they also have their own loyalty rewards program for travelers. That means you can enjoy the benefits of having a loyalty program with these travelers. So if someone books through Vrbo and Expedia pretty regularly and earns points from it, they might want to stay with your property if you're also on those OTAs. That way, they can earn or spend points with you. Expedia is one of those marketing channels that does not pass the guest's contact information to ResNexus. So emails from the ResNexus system will be forwarded through a proxy email address. So this is where you'll want to try and collect the guest's information when they arrive. One great thing about Expedia with ResNexus is that we're actually a preferred partner with them. As part of this integration, you can use Expedia promotions from your ResNexus back office in order to stand out on that platform. As for payment options for Expedia, you have two. You can either use Expedia's secure processing to have travelers pay online when they book and charge a virtual credit card for payment at checkout, or you can have your guest pay you directly at checkout, and you can then compensate Expedia for the commission. Next is Booking.com. Booking.com as a platform appeals strongly to budget-conscious travelers, and it's especially popular in Europe. So you might see more international travelers than with other marketing channels. A major benefit to Booking.com is that they appeal to a wide variety of property types, from bed and breakfasts to campgrounds and glamping. Like Expedia, Booking.com won't send you the guest information, so you'll have to collect it yourself if you want to remarket to them in the future. Your payment options are Hotel Collect or Booking.com Collect. With Booking.com Collect, you can either get a virtual credit card to charge on the day of arrival, or you can get a payout from Booking.com after the guest departs. Next is Airbnb. Airbnb has a focus on unique experiences when traveling. Virtually any kind of accommodation can be listed on Airbnb, from cabins and campsites to tree houses and castles. So long as it's a place dedicated to accommodations, it'll probably work within their guidelines. Airbnb doesn't send you the guest information. However, you can send and receive messages to your guests through the message portal in ResNexus, which can be very convenient. But again, you'll want to collect the guest information yourself if you want to send promotional emails to them in the future. We're also a preferred software partner with Airbnb. Similar to Expedia, this came with the ability to manage Airbnb promotions and discounts directly in your ResNexus back office. And this channel does not attach credit card information to the reservation. They collect payment from the guest and will pay out to the host on a regular basis after the guest has left the property. And these reservations are automatically marked in ResNexus as paid by house account. Next is Vrbo. Vrbo is the OTA that's all about family trips and vacations. They appeal to travelers who want kid-friendly places to stay that can fit the whole gang comfortably and have the place to themselves. Kind of a home away from home vibe, where the guests can cook for themselves in the on-site kitchen and really sprawl out for fun activities. Vrbo was originally called VRBO, or Vacation Rentals by Owner, but has since been shortened to just Vrbo. They list pretty much what you'd expect: vacation rentals, from cottages and houses to apartments and cabins. Pretty much any place that the guests can have to themselves and has a kitchen. Again, if you're a campground that also has cabins, you might want to look into listing the cabins on Vrbo, even if they don't want your tent and RV sites. Now, ResNexus actually has a unique connection with Vrbo that makes it more seamless. Normally, connections like these go through iCal, which can cause a significant delay for bookings to populate in your back office. But our connection is more direct, for faster bookings and lower risk of double bookings. The only downside to this is that it takes a little longer to set up initially. We'll walk you through how to do it, or you can have us do it for a fee, simply because it's fairly time consuming. Once that's done though, you're all set. This channel attaches guest credit card information to the reservation and requires you to handle the payment processing. Typically, commissions owed are billed to you on a monthly basis, with charges being added based on the guest's stay date. Now to Tripadvisor. Now again, Tripadvisor is primarily a meta-search site. Travelers use it to learn about new places to stay and to check on reviews and other things to do. When someone makes a booking, they usually do so by clicking one of their links to a different OTA like Expedia or Booking.com, or to book directly with you. You can find most types of accommodation on a Tripadvisor, but they don't really do tent or RV sites. For campgrounds on here, you might see cabins and other places of that nature listed. Now, that said, Tripadvisor actually does have a couple ways you can get bookings from them directly, or even through your own booking engine. The first is instant booking. This allows you to use Tripadvisor much like you would any OTA. You can list your own direct booking link, and Tripadvisor will take a commission on reservations made using it. When you get reservations through instant booking, they will attach the credit card information to the reservation, and then you'll handle it much like any other OTA. Cost per click is similar, but instead of paying a normal commission, you pay a small amount whenever a user clicks through to your booking page. And finally, there's Tripadvisor Business Advantage. This is a service you can pay for that'll basically allow you to spotlight your property a little better and provide users with the ability to book directly with you. It comes with a variety of benefits, such as spotlighting your favorite review, adding a special offer call-out, creating a storyboard video, and more. And if travelers reach out to book with you using your listed email, phone number, or website, you don't even pay a commission. When you get bookings in this way, because they're going directly to your own booking engine or over the phone, you get the guest information sent over, allowing you to send them promotional emails in the future. Let's give them the green check mark for that. Moving on to GlampingHub. GlampingHub's market is, of course, luxury camping. Their most popular listings are pure glamping properties like yurts and tree houses, but they do also list cabins and vacation rentals. There is an emphasis on outdoor vacations, so your urban apartment probably won't be a good fit for them. If you're not sure if your place is a good fit, definitely reach out to them and ask. GlampingHub does not automatically send over your guest information to ResNexus, so you'll have to collect it manually to enter into your back office. And this is one of those channels that does not attach the guest credit card information, where it'll go through a house account and the payout will take place after the guest leaves. Little Travel Europe is a traditional brick-and-mortar travel agency in Europe. Their clients are English-speaking Europeans who want to visit rural places in the United States and Canada. Little Travel Europe prepares travel itineraries for their clients, usually having them stay multiple nights in each location. Again, they're looking for rural accommodations, including boutique hotels, bed and breakfasts, lodges, ranches, and glamping, and they don't want tent or RV sites. So Little Travel Europe works a little uniquely with payments. They don't provide credit card information to your property. ResNexus will make it go through a house account, and reservations coming from Little Travel Europe will be paid by that account. And they'll send payment directly to your property 7 to 14 days prior to the guest's arrival. we recommend using the house account to verify the payments you receive from Little Travel Europe. And here's some more benefits of using Little Travel Europe. First, you are paid before your guests arrive, and your guests are well matched to you and your offerings, and they usually stay longer, about 3 nights on average. And they're also booked way in advance. You're usually given 9 to 12 months notice for bookings, and they're very rarely canceled. Little Travel Europe does not send over the guest information either, so you'll have to collect that in order to market to them directly in the future. Stash Hotel Rewards is an interesting case. It's a loyalty rewards program for independent hoteliers to help them compete with larger chains. Stash users are affluent travelers who love fine accommodations. Properties who are Stash members are listed in their directory, which is fairly selective, and that's part of Stash's model. A Stash Hotel Rewards user can stay at any member property and know to expect a fantastic stay. Stash isn't just hotels, though. They have everything from shipping container hotels to 2-room bed and breakfasts. If you have a highly rated property on Tripadvisor, there's a good chance that Stash is interested in having you on their platform. And Stash Hotel Rewards is one of the marketing channels that forwards the guest information to you, so you can remarket to them in the future. So they get the green check mark for that. And they'll also send over the guest credit card information to be charged using your normal process. All right, now we're moving on to the campground marketing channels. First up is the Dyrt, an OTA for campgrounds. And this is an OTA that's actually pretty unique because you don't pay a commission. That's right, remember when I said that OTAs operate off of commissions? Well, for this one, it's actually the guest that pays the commission, not the property. So if you have a campground, definitely get set up with the Dyrt if you haven't already. They accept most any kind of outdoor accommodations, including small cabins and glamping units. If you're worried that campers might be scared away by the commission fee, then consider that the Dyrt is the #1 ranked camping app in the Apple and Google Play app stores and has millions of users. 40% of campers on the Dyrt camp more than 6 times per year. And as a final benefit, the Dyrt forwards the camper information, so it gets the green check mark for remarketing opportunities. And this is one of the ones that does not attach credit card information, so it'll go through the house account. Next up is Spot Tonight. This is also a campground OTA with an emphasis on RV camping. Spot Tonight also offers commission-free bookings where the guests pay this fee instead of you. Plus, credit card processing fees are covered by Spot Tonight, so properties earn about 3% more on every reservation. Guests love to use Spot Tonight because of the geolocation feature. So when they're on the road and looking for a place to park their RV for the night, they can quickly find the perfect place for their needs in their location. And Spot Tonight also gets the check mark for sending you the guest information, allowing you to send promotional emails to them moving forward. And this channel does attach the credit card information to the reservation, and so you can handle it as you normally would. Next up is BookOutdoors. This OTA is all about outdoor accommodations in most any form, from RV parks and campgrounds, even to marinas. BookOutdoors is fantastic for the property because they'll cover the credit card processing fees and they'll collect and file sales tax on your behalf. They're also very proactive about getting your listing set up for you on their end. And you betcha BookOutdoors gets the check mark. Whenever a camper makes a booking with your property through BookOutdoors, you'll have that guest's contact information so you can remind them about how great your property was at strategic times throughout the year. As for payment, BookOutdoors does not send credit card information to ResNexus. The reservations will be marked as paid by house account. All right, this is the last of our current campground OTA integrations, Hipcamp. They boast an audience of more than 7 million outdoor enthusiasts. Wouldn't you like to be on a platform with an audience like that? Hipcamp has some other notable offerings, such as $10,000 in liability insurance, which can cover damages to your property. They also have 24/7 support team access, a professional photography program, and tax management services. And Hipcamp does not send you the guest's contact information. However, they do keep the camper's proxy email address active for 1 year after the departure date, allowing you to market to them in that way within that year. If they do end up coming to stay with you again by booking directly, then you can easily collect their information in that way. And for payments, Hipcamp will not provide the guest's credit card information to your reservations, so it'll go through a house account. The last marketing channel I'll be going over today is Google Hotels, also called Google Travel. This is similar to Tripadvisor, where it's not an actual booking system. Google doesn't take a commission off bookings because they send the guests straight to an OTA or to your property directly if you have your free booking link set up. Google Travel will list pretty much any room or unit that has 4 walls and a bed. So that's bed and breakfasts, boutique hotels, motels, cabins, and vacation rentals. They don't want campsites or RV sites where the guest has to bring their own bed and shelter with them. One of the biggest benefits of using Google Travel: Google is one of the first places many travelers go to start planning a trip. Even if you just Google places to stay in Seattle, you'll be presented with Google Travel options. So with Google Travel, the main thing you want to do is get your free direct booking link set up. So the guests have an option to book with you directly instead of with the OTAs. If they do book with you in this way, well, of course, Google gets the green check mark because since they're booking with you directly, you'll be able to collect their information as normal. So I'm going to quickly show how you can get set up with that free direct booking link from Google Travel. So the setup looks like this. Again, ResNexus will do it for you, or you can set it up on your own if you are already using other OTAs through Direct Connect. First, you go to Settings and type in Direct Connect, and click on Direct Connect, and then click on Add Channel. And this is also how you will add any OTAs or marketing channels to your Direct Connect. But for this one, you'll select Google Hotels, and then click Add Channel. Then you click Save. You then need to set your groups and enable them under the Matching tab by clicking the On switch. Your room groups are usually ready to be enabled if you use ResNexus Direct Connect to pair to other OTAs like Expedia or Booking.com. If room groups are not set up, please call ResNexus for assistance. Because again, you also want to have the lowest room rate to show on Google Travel. We'll set up your Google Travel free booking link up for you for free, whether you use other marketing channels or not. Then you simply click Save. ResNexus then connects your online booking engine to the free booking link. This registration process can take a couple of business days, usually a couple of hours, but once complete, the marked as live status is checked. And that's as far as you need to go in order to get that free booking link. All right, and all that being said, we have come to the end of the webinar, and we're now in the Q&A portion. If you enjoyed this webinar and would like to view more of our webinars like it, you can do so by going to resnexus.com, and then if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a button for webinars, and if you click that, you'll be taken to our entire library of past webinars, and you can also register for upcoming ones. For today, I'm going to recommend that if you want to learn more about one or more of these marketing channels specifically, go and check out our webinar about them to learn more about the exact nature of our integration and the benefits of using it. All right, with that being said, we're now going to move to the Q&A portion. Go ahead and leave your questions in the questions field, and we'll try and get those answered for you as fast as we can and in the order they appear. All right, we have a question about does Vrbo accept glamping units as well? And the answer is yes if it has a kitchen, and the same goes for cabins. Basically, that's one of the main criteria, is that it's a place of accommodations and that people are able to cook for themselves while they're there. While we're waiting for more questions to come in, I'd just like to say thanks to everyone for joining the webinar today. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about how you can use these to leverage your business. So we have a question about how much percentage does ResNexus take out when you receive bookings from anything except your own direct booking. So ResNexus, it depends on your edition. If you don't have a plus on your edition for Essentials or Professional or Premier, then ResNexus, we do have a 1% fee that we take out of OTA bookings. But if you have the Plus edition, then there is actually no fee that ResNexus takes from that. So it's either 1% or 0%. As for each individual OTA and marketing channel, their own commission rate structure depends on lots and lots of factors. So I hope that answers your question for you. Yeah, and one other thing to say about Plus versus any other kind of edition is that we do help you make sure you make the most informed and educated decision. So if you have a lot of inventory from OTAs, then we recommend Plus. If not, then it may not be worth it for you. So we do help you out to make sure you make the smartest decision there. We have someone asking about what is the cost of using the Europe, Little Travel Europe. And the answer is that largely depends. I think that with them more so than many other OTAs, it really depends on the exact nature of your arrangement with them. It's my understanding that when you get in contact with Little Travel Europe, you'll actually meet and talk with one of the representatives to kind of work out the specifics. So unfortunately, I can't give you any kind of hard, fast number on that. It's really going to depend on the nature of your agreement with them. All right, it looks like we've come to the end of our questions. Thanks everyone for joining, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week.